In 1720, Britain's brightest minds and most powerful men walked willingly into a financial trap. Fortunes vanished. Reputations were shattered. Public trust in the system collapsed. Politicians, nobles, even the great scientist Isaac Newton, the man who could calculate the movement of planets, believed they were on the edge of unimaginable wealth. But what actually happened was this. They were swept into one of the greatest economic mistakes in history, the South Sea Bubble. And the disturbing part. The same trap that deceived the smartest investors of 1720 is still alive inside our financial system today. Because this isn't just a story about greed. It's the blueprint of how money and power combine to manufacture illusion. Background: war and massive debt. At the beginning of the 18th century, Britain emerged from the War of the Spanish Succession. The treasury was drained. Government debt was enormous. In this environment, the South Sea Company was founded in 1711. Its official mission: a monopoly on trade with South America. Gold, silver, exotic riches. Investors in London were set on fire with imagination. But the truth? The company's real business wasn't trade. It was converting government debt into company shares. A clever, but dangerous, plan. The plan was simple. The company would assume a large portion of the national debt. In exchange, creditors would receive company shares. Shareholders would profit from trade and receive government-backed dividends. On paper, everyone won. But the system rested on a dangerous illusion. In reality, Britain's trading rights in South America were extremely limited. The region was under Spanish control. The promised reign of gold was largely fantasy. Yet the story was so powerful that no one looked too closely. 1720, the madness begins. In 1720, the company launched an enormous promotional campaign. Pamphlets, rumors, bribes inside Parliament. Shares started the year at £100. By summer, they approached £1,000. The country was burning with speculative fever. Merchants, aristocrats, clergymen, everyone was buying. Newton bought in too. At first, he entered early, made a profit, and exited. But as prices kept rising, he returned. The fear of missing out was stronger. When the bubble burst, he lost most of his fortune. Later, he famously said, "I can calculate the motion of the heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people." That sentence summarizes every economic bubble in history. Intelligence is not protection against mass delusion. How the bubble inflated. The mechanism was simple. Prices rose, more people entered, prices rose even more. Members of Parliament had insider access to shares. Instead of questioning it, they fueled the fire. Even the king became a governor of the company. Royal prestige was now attached to the scheme. People mortgaged their homes. Borrowed money. They saw neighbors getting rich overnight. This was the cryptomania of the 18th century. The reality: the company had no real profits. Dividends were paid using money from new investors. The gold trade was mostly imaginary. It was a debt pyramid. And no pyramid can grow forever. The collapse. By late 1720, confidence cracked. Prices began to fall. Panic spread. Shares crashed back toward £100. Fortunes were erased. Middle-class families were ruined. Life savings evaporated. But the powerful, they did not fall completely. The system had to survive. Political scandal. Members of Parliament, ministers, even the Chancellor of the Exchequer, were involved. Investigations were launched. Some directors had their assets confiscated. But the system itself remained standing. Because a state cannot destroy the financial structure that funds it. The irony, the Bubble Act of 1720. The Bubble Act of 1720 was presented as protection for the public. It banned the formation of joint stock companies without royal approval. But the law was written at the request of the South Sea Company. Its purpose? Crush competitors. So the protection law protected the architects of the bubble. Sound familiar? The aftermath. Trust was shattered. Investment in joint stock companies slowed for years. But one institution grew stronger. The Bank of England. Its central role as the state's primary financier expanded. And the irony. The government debt the South Sea Company promised to solve did not disappear. The pain was simply transferred to small investors. Why this still matters? Because this wasn't a historical accident. It was a template. The 1990s dot-com bubble. Websites reached billion-dollar valuations. The new economy was sold. Collapse followed. The 2008 housing bubble. Mortgage products were marketed as almost risk-free. Millions lost homes. Banks were rescued. Crypto and meme stocks. Social media replaced pamphlets. This time is different, they said. The same cycle again. The real lesson. The South Sea bubble teaches us. Intelligence is not a shield. Experts can be wrong. When money and power unite, illusion is easy to manufacture. And every bubble ends the same way. Profits flow upward. Losses flow downward. So what should we do? 1. Financial literacy is essential. 2. Easy wealth promises are almost always traps. 3. This time is different, is one of the most expensive sentences in history. Real wealth is built on value, not excitement. History does not repeat itself exactly. But it rhymes. The rhyme of the South Sea bubble can be heard in every new financial frenzy. If the smartest minds of 1720 could be deceived, so can we. That's why the strongest shield is skepticism. And your best protection is knowledge. The rest. Hype will take care of itself.